Getting these all lined up can be a bit of a pain. Hey everybody, today I'll show you how to put a rag joint sprocket for a motorized bicycle on a bike that has gears on the back wheel. One of the first things we're going to do is check center of the sprocket opposed to center of the motor. We are looking at about 1 9/16. Go ahead and measure from the center of your tire as best you can. You can try to get an exact measurement, but if you are confident in yourself, you can freehand your tape. Then mark 9/16 on the hub of your back tire. I should say 1 9/16. That is where you want your sprocket to sit at, so that when you put your motor on, it will all be lined up right from the get-go. And keep in mind, this accounts for your tire being dead center, so make sure your tire does sit dead center of your frame before you do that. Your next step will be to remove your tire. Usually a 5/8 or 15 millimeter is a perfect fit for your tire axle nuts. You will have to loosen them up and pop your chain off. Just keep in mind, without the back tire, you will have to support your bike somehow or flip it over. I opted to flip my bike over. If you have centerfold or C-brakes, you will most likely have to remove the shoes to get your tire off. So carefully remove your brake shoes. And make sure to put all the pieces back on there so that you do not lose any. Once your shoes are loosened, the axles are loosened, pull your derailleur out of the way and gently and carefully remove the back tire. We are now ready to put the sprocket on. Now you can do this with just 2 10mm wrenches, but if you have a drill with torque settings, a 10mm socket attached to the drill will come in handy for making sure you get your sprocket evenly torqued down all the way. Now, I'm using a 36-2 sprocket, but no matter what, for this step, you're going to want to look at your sprocket. A lot of them have a bevel here and an offset. I've seen people argue they go offset in, offset out. Then you have ones that don't have an offset at all. I'd hope to use this one because it's heavy duty. But when I drop it on here, it is already lined up with my 9/16 mark before I have compressed this rubber any at all, the rag joint rubbers. So you'll also want to check your rubbers for any imperfections. If they have any, you may want to sand them down. These ones are okay. I'm actually going to use the sprocket with the offset, and it will be offset out so that by the time it is compressed, it is closer to lined up with my original mark. Another thing that you'll want to do, that I'm going to show you now before I get it in, when you put your bolts through, you are going to want to have them already pretty much touching your spokes, so that when you take off the motor, your sprocket and rag joint do not spin and bang into the spokes, creating damage later on. You will need to cut one of the rubbers one time to get it on the inside and around your axle. So you will choose a spot between the holes. Do not cut on the holes. You'll have to choose a spot between the holes to cut. And I use a pair of tin snips because they are just stronger than regular scissors. It may be difficult to cut the rubber. Once your rubber is cut, you can slide it in the spokes. Take that notch, work it around the axle to get it on the other side of your spokes. You should have some metal pieces that come with your sprocket. You either have 2 or 3. If you have 2, you got lucky. They're a little easier to work with than the 3s. But the main thing you want to account for, because these go on the inside, you want to get one and position it so that the edge of it does not interfere with your cut. Leave it to China to send me used bolts. They're already half stripped out. Thankfully, I have bolts out of another kit, so I'll be using them instead. So it's always important to inspect everything you get with these motorized bike kits. Now your sprocket should go over top your hub with a little bit of playroom. If it doesn't, you'll probably need a different back rim. One of the main reasons is if it doesn't, you have internal components inside your hub that you're probably not thinking about that may not be suited for a motorized bicycle. Most of them will go over your back hub, and then it's just a matter of centering it up. I have seen people stick zip ties and shims in here. I usually freehand it, and I can get it pretty good as long as you're centered up as best you can get it. You usually won't have a problem. If you are way off center in one direction, it may want to throw your chain, so be sure to get it centered up all the way. Now, once you drop your sprocket over your rubber, again, spin it so you can see your spoke through the rubber and back it off just a hair, and start dropping your bolts on through. Should be 9 total. You will use washers, lock washers, and a lock nut on the other side. If you are having great difficulty lining up your 2 rubbers, you can just put 3 bolts in, lift it up, and just line it up, your back rubber up with these 3 bolts, as it can be difficult if you put more in at a time. It's not impossible. This is probably the most difficult step, as you can tell. Once you have your rubber through, take one of your brackets, and I like to start on the side that has the slit so that I make sure the edge of your bracket does not line up with the slit, and I will put it over that bolt. I will then take a washer, lock washer, and the lock nut and get it started. It may be easier to hold the lock nut and spin the bolt itself. Remember where when I said a drill would come in handy here? Take your drill and put it on your nut or your bolt, and put your 10mm wrench on your nut. And get that started so it'll hold. And go ahead and do the other two. Do not torque them all the way home yet. You just want these in place so that they will hold themselves while you get set up. Once you have all your plates slightly anchored, you can go ahead and drop all your other nuts through. You may have to loosen up these to get them adjusted so that you can freely work the nuts in and out, the bolts I should say. You don't want them tightened down yet because you want to be able to adjust your sprocket still. Now is a good time to drop anything you may have, or grab anything you may have dropped before you continue. Now just load your washers and lock washers on these like you did the other ones, but don't torque them all down yet. Once you have all the nuts loaded onto your bolts, you can go ahead and start focusing on making sure your sprocket is centered. Like I said, you can try to shim it, but this one's pretty close anyway. It's a tight fit. I'm going to go with it as is and start. Now what you'll want to do next is, if you have a drill that has a torque setting, put it on about 5. Something that you can hold. Put it on something that you can hold, so you're just getting these all torqued down evenly before you actually begin to secure it. You will want to go in a star pattern just like you're putting on a tire on a car. Once you have them all snugged at a low torque setting, you can check to see how centered up your sprocket is. I have a nice even spacing all the way around mine. In fact, it looks pretty good even for the first attempt, but I've done this a few times. You may or may not have to loosen these up and adjust your sprocket and retorque them to get it nice and centered. The next thing you'll want to do, if you have 2 people, this can help, but if not, you could do it by yourself. Grab the shaft, spin your tire, and hold it at arm's length, nice and steady, and eyeball your sprocket and see if it wobbles in and out. If it does, when it wobbles out high, you'll want to torque all that side down to bring that in, and do it again and again until you get it to where when you spin it, it looks nice and even. Mine already looks pretty even. That's why the low torque setting helps. As long as your sprocket looks like it's spinning even with your tire and you are centered up nicely on your axle, you can go ahead and kick the torque setting up on your drill. I recommend putting it somewhere on 10. The numbers are faded on mine, but you can do that. Tighten it all the way around again in a star pattern, and then see how it looks from there. If you have to, you can go a little tighter. I recommend after riding a few times, you tighten it up again. I'm going to go ahead and torque mine down. At this point, your sprocket should hold itself enough. You'll be able to put it up in the air. You heard it torque. We'll go all the way across. Go across again. And just keep repeating this until you've hit every bolt. I like to double check them all and periodically check it for wobble as you go. Okay, once you've gone around again and you've checked for wobble and your sprocket is still centered up, you can go ahead and increase your torque a little more to about 14 and go around one more time. And after you go around that time, check it physically with your wrench. If you can spin any of them easily, like that one right there, then you'll want to go around and hit them all one more time in a star pattern. Make sure they are all evenly torqued down again. Alright, if you followed all of these steps, your tire will be ready to mount back on your bike, and you can proceed to the next step in building your motorized bicycle. Isn't that beautiful?